can't stop eating the breads, the pasta. Maybe willpower's not working, but you want to be on a low carb diet and it's just not working for you. And hunger and cravings take over. I completely understand that. We all have food cravings, food addictions that can cause us to feel like we are not getting the right amount of support towards this process. The process is we want to lose the weight. How do we lose the weight? Well, we're supposed to go low carb to lose the weight. So that's how you get the best weight loss and the most sustainable weight loss, because the conventional approach doesn't work. Your calories in, calories out process doesn't work. We've tried that. We've done that. We've been to the weight loss process on the merry-go-round of weight gain and weight loss, and it just doesn't stick. It doesn't stick because your blood sugar is too high. As long as there's blood glucose in your blood and insulin levels are raised, you will not lose the weight. And then the more we do that, the more the leptin levels are elevated in our body. I'm having lighting trouble here, so I'm trying to record to YouTube at the same time, so I apologize. But the reason why we are not able to burn the fat when you have too many carbohydrates in your blood is because there's too much sugar in your blood. So when I refer to sugar, I'm talking about the glucose load in your blood, and your body. And always keep in mind that fatty liver, diabetes, prediabetes, all of those things, even Alzheimer's, is too much sugar in your blood. So then you become insulin resistant. You become not able to utilize the insulin in your body, but your body's still trying to store all that fat away. And so it is having a harder time to function because of that process. So guess what? You could do a low carb diet and it works. And so you get to eat more, you get to be more satiated, you get to feel better in your body. So this is some things that I wanted to talk about today, is how to use the food bridge concept. And maybe you've not heard about that. It's something I use exclusively to explain part of my journey, my lifestyle, and what I have done to be successful to lose 100 pounds. That took me 8 years of the rest of my 50s. I think I started about 53. I'm losing track of the time here. But I'm 61 now. I did this whole journey in menopause. Still don't say that after 50 or in menopause that you can't lose the weight, because you can. It's the food you're eating that's causing the problem. And so you just might have the wrong information. So if you can't stop eating the bread and the pasta to lose the weight, it's because it's a food addiction and your glucose levels are too high, your insulin levels are too high. And you got to remember that bread is like a gluteomorphine in the brain. It gives you all of that feel-good serotonin dopamine hit. However, that is a super addictive process, and it's damaging your body, and it's glycating all the proteins. It's making your body sticky. It's causing all of the downstream problems or all the diseases in our body. It all stems from too much sugar in the body. So if you don't want diseases, we have to take the sugar out. And so I like using the term the food bridges, because we were going to flip your sugar switch off. So, and then that's not always easy when we get started. Sometimes we have too much stress and we really don't want to do that. We want to still kind of eat the foods that made us feel good. In the beginning, when I did this, I was down to like using some dried fruit and some snacking on nuts and dried fruit. So I took those out and I went keto and I dropped 20 pounds. But that was it for like 3 years. And so I had to reset my body, get healthy to lose the weight. I had to heal the gut. I had to fix digestion. I didn't know that I needed to do all those things, but that's all the things that I needed to do. And my body needed to get healthy to lose the rest of the weight. And so I was on a plateau. A lot of people might think that, they would just, they're stalled. Oh, this doesn't work. Keto doesn't work for me, or low carb doesn't work for me because I'm stalled out on my weight. If you're just stalled on your weight and you're not gaining weight, that's a success. You haven't gained the weight back. Then be grateful that you're not gaining any weight. That is a success. If I could lose the weight and not gain it and wait for the next time that I could lose some more weight, that's what we want to focus on. And sometimes we might need to use that food bridge concept going into a low carb diet. So what I mean by that is, the way to use the food bridges is to flip your sugar switch off and to overcome hunger and cravings while your body is healing. And these food bridges that I'm talking about are like using grain-free breads, grain-free tortilla, if you need to use these things, and it's not only using those. You want to bring in your protein, your fat, your vegetables. That's the basis of a low carb diet. Bring in some olives, some pickles, some avocado, getting the good foods. Those are the foods that actually nourish our body and give our body what we need it to work. When you first transition into low carb, it can be really hard to just focus on protein because maybe your digestion isn't working. So a lot of the times we're going to miss the foods that we're eating. And so to make that transition off of processed food into more of a low carb lifestyle, you know what? We got to do what we got to do. If you need to hit the process, you need to hit the keto low carb processed food. Just make sure there's no wheat, there's no sugar. The carbs are as low as you can get them. And just be aware that that's a more temporary situation as you're getting used to transitioning your body to a more low carb process. That's what we want to focus on. And so you can include some of those low carb breads, snacks, and desserts. I've had low carb ice cream. I don't eat it anymore because I don't crave it that much. I have it like once a year at Christmas or Thanksgiving, and that's about it. Maybe twice, maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving. But then I don't want it anymore because, a lot of the times these foods can set off cravings. If these foods are setting off cravings, you might have to go cold turkey and not do them at all, because if they set off your cravings and you eat too much, then it's not working for you. But you can't, a lot of people like to have a little bit of, the sweeteners like maple syrup and maybe have it on some low carb pancakes, or make some low carb, even like I used to make some low carb tuna pancakes with some almond flour. I haven't been doing that in a long time. I just don't want to, but there's a lot of things you could do with almond flour. You could get my cookie recipe and make keto chocolate chip cookies. I've done that. And I enjoyed it. And that was one of the things that helped me go low carb and really get started in my lifestyle. Now, could I have lost weight faster if I didn't do those? Possibly, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know where my healing opportunities would have been faster if I kept those foods out. But I needed them at the time to manage my stress levels. And so if you've got huge stress levels and you're not able to get on a low carb diet, the overall goal here is to get on a low carb diet, create the lifestyle that you need. If you need to use those food bridges to get off the ultra processed foods, get out of the wheat and the sugar and get onto foods that don't have those, that's what you need to do. And you might need to use the food bridges to get there. And so that's the concept that I like to use. I don't want anybody to fail at this. And so sometimes we just feel frustrated that, because we don't want to eat the bread and the pasta because it's not healthy for us, but we crave it. And so eating bread that is made keto, eating bread without grains and without sugar, not focusing your whole diet on these. These are things that are just going to be part of your meal, but they're not going to be 100% your meal. And you can do pastas that are like palmini, the hearts of palm pasta can be used as pasta. I've done that before. They're just a vegetable, but it feels like pasta. You could do spaghetti squash. I wouldn't do spaghetti squash every day because it could raise your insulin levels because it is a higher carb, higher starch carb. So you want to balance those higher starch carb days if you're looking for weight loss. And so you have to balance it where you are. For the most part, take all the sugar stuff out. Take the sugar juices out. Take the sodas out. You need to start there. We have to get rid of those drinks because if you're having too many drinks that have a lot of carbohydrates, it's going to completely stall out any weight loss. So you want to know, we want to get started in a low carb diet and get that first 20 pounds of weight loss as best we can. That's the goal. And make food rules. Your food rules are no sugar, no grains. Eat your vegetables, get your protein. If you can't digest your protein, you need to be taking a digestive enzyme. Now, these are all things I will troubleshoot for you in my programs. My 3 to 6 month programs will run the diagnostic labs, which I didn't know about it. That's why I stalled out for 3 years and had to wait 8 years to get my 100 pounds of weight loss because I had to go through everything. And I didn't know that I could have used labs to speed everything up. So that's one of the things. You could find your weight loss blocks, run diagnostic labs, figure out exactly what's going on. And when you work with a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner like me or someone else, you get to find those weight loss blocks and dial it in quicker, collapse the time it takes to lose the weight and get it under control sooner. And so that's the magic and the miracle of working with somebody who's already had that lived experience and knows exactly how to drive this process and implement the holistic low carb method so that you get results quicker, sooner. And, get that 20 to 30 pounds this year so you can feel beautiful at Christmas and wear that gorgeous dress that you've been wanting to wear. Or you have a late summer cruise coming up and you want to really jumpstart that weight loss. Don't feel that if you can't do carnivore, if you can't do keto straight up, and that you want to have some of these foods to eat, don't just not start. Start and do the best you can. Use the food bridges if you need to. They're going to take away your cravings, your hunger. They're going to help you get healthy to lose the weight. Now, the conventional approach to weight loss, where we're eating low calorie, and following the skinny narrative that tells you don't eat too much, cut the fat, cut the protein, has never worked, is never going to work. They don't have any studies on it that works. And people who are doing it are just in starvation and they're always hungry. But for the most part, if you have a metabolic dysfunction, if you have obesity and you're overweight like I was, we need a different driver, a different direction to go. We cannot do the starvation thing. We don't have enough willpower. Willpower is not something that's finite. It doesn't work all the time. Hunger will always win over, and your hormones will take over, and it will tell you to eat that thing in front of you. Even if it's bread, pasta, ice cream, cookies, you might go on a rampage. You're just going to eat it all. So to keep that from happening, make your food rules. Everything you eat has to be sugar-free, grain-free, and it has to be low carb. Some days you're going to do a better keto diet where you're just eating your meals and maybe you don't need the snacks, and that's all great. But there were days where I could barely get past 11 o'clock without having a bar or something to really manage my stress and my hunger before I could get to my meal. And so I took advantage of that, and that's what I did it. I lost 20 pounds, stalled out for 3 years, and was in a plateau. But I felt better than I've ever felt before, because you know what happens when you go on a low carb diet, and they're noticing this too, because metabolic psychiatry and the nutritional psychiatry, they're noticing that when they put their patients on a keto diet, miraculously, the brain starts to work again. And so that's the benefit of going on a low carb diet, on a keto diet. You get your brain back. And when you get your brain back, you have brain energy. And when you have more energy, you're able to do more things. You're able to be more active. You're able to turn that brain power on and decide what's the next step, able to go forward, create that low carb longevity lifestyle that you want to have, so you can age beautifully and adventurously. Because the clients that come to me, they want to turn off the prediabetes. They want to make sure their heart's functioning. They want to make sure that they're not going to age and be in a nursing home. Nobody wants to go there. We've heard horror stories. Hopefully most of the time we get into a good one, or you could send yourself to a cruise. I've heard people actually buy a cruise room and do that for their retirement, but that would be cool. So the goal is not to get into a nursing home. We want to be healthy to lose the weight. We want to be healthy for longevity. We want to age young and beautifully. We want to live our life adventurously, upright, walking without pain in our body. And if you're on the standard American diet, and part of the 88% of Americans that are unhealthy, and it's even higher with insulin resistance, if you've got any kind of metabolic dysfunction and pain in your body, you have insulin resistance in a pre-diabetic state, but you can reverse that. Isn't that the coolest thing ever, that we could reverse that? I'm so excited to be able to just bring this back up again and let you know that if your willpower is not working, if you're stuck on bread and pasta and your brain is just like, I got to have these foods, use the food bridges. Dump out and get rid of all the processed food out of the cabinets at home. Toss out the cereals, toss out the crackers, get rid of everything. You want to bring in low carb food, so that when you do have a problem, you can at least have something there that's going to satisfy your craving. Now, the problem with cravings is we're not getting enough protein in our diet. When we're not getting enough protein in our diet, you can't turn off the appetite. Your body wants you to eat protein. And so it's going to seek out the protein. You eat a bag of Doritos, it's going to say, that was yummy, yummy, give me more. Where's my protein? So you continue to eat all these calories, but you're not getting any protein to turn off your appetite. Protein and fat satiate you, and that is our natural diet. That is what we're supposed to be eating. Everybody who eats that way will be healthy. But if you add in with the meat, this is the studies they're doing, if you add into that meat the shake, the french fries, the bun, the snacks, the crap, of course you're going to have heart disease, because you're eating all this other stuff. It has nothing to do with that meat that's in that bun. That is the healthy part. It has to do with what's going down into your colon, what's not digesting, what's causing inflammation, what's causing dysbiosis, leaky gut. If your gut's not working, if your digestion's not working, you're not going to have the health that you want to have. And so we fix it. That's why we run diagnostic labs. We can run the GI map stool test. We could find out what's going on with your hormones with the Dutch test, and we could fine tune exactly what your body's reacting to with the MRT, mediator release food sensitivity test, which is a foundational step that I use because I work with people who are overweight and stuck and stalled at their weight, women over 50, and people with metabolic dysfunction and blood sugar dysregulation that leads to prediabetes and worse. And so what we want to do is flip that sugar switch off, flip your disease-causing genes off, turn this all around, and get the health that you want to use. So if you want to have a keto cookie, there's no shame in that. We just make it keto. my client Donna was telling me she started with me in no, in January, and she's down 26 pounds, and she's like, well, this is so easy. I feel so much better in my body, 95% less pain. Why wouldn't you want to continue to do this and live this lifestyle? Because it's amazing, and you feel better, and you have so much more energy. And she's, you know what she said? She said, I could just make anything keto. I can make anything low carb. And that's what I did. That's what Mark does. That's what my clients learn to do. If you want to have something to eat that is outside of the low carb food rules, out of that lifestyle, then make it keto. Don't eat the other ones. They will make you sick. You would fall off. You're going to gain all the weight back, because if you fall off a low carb diet, and if you're looking at it as a diet and you're only doing it temporarily, it's not going to work for you anyway. You want to pull in low carb as a lifestyle so it will work for you long term for permanent weight loss results. This is your weight loss solution, your diabetes solution. And if you need to use the food bridges and you want to use the food bridges, there's nothing wrong with that. I make a mean carrot cake for the holidays, and I have a little bit of vanilla ice cream. I love the Mammoth Creamery. That one is the best vanilla ice cream out there. I don't make it myself. I guess I could try to make it myself. I just haven't had the brain energy to do that because I'm busy doing other things, like building this business and coming out here on this live and trying to finish this up before my yoga class tonight and get everything done. But I'm just so excited to come out here and help you guys understand that just getting started is the process to do. Don't wait any longer. Start it this weekend. Make your food plan. What do you have to do to go to the store? What do you need to buy so that you can get this done right? And so make that plan, get into action, focus on what protein you're going to eat. And you know what? Everybody needs digestive support. Pick up a digestive enzyme, because it's going to make the biggest difference. Drinking some apple cider vinegar before you eat. Download my belly fat hacks or stubborn weight gain book that I have available. It's in my bio. Download that and get started and have a little bit of accountability with that. If you need more support and you want implementation for my holistic low carb method, and you want to work with me and get a free food sensitivity test so that you can jumpstart those and discovering what your weight loss blocks are, that's available too. I have a strategy call. It's currently free. I'm not charging for it. Get on the call with me for an hour. I find out what's going on in your body. We talk, we get to know each other, we have a good time, and you come away with information on being empowered and what you can do. And then as well, I'll give you a presentation with my program and show you how it works. And if you're not interested, you're not interested. But if you are, you have the ability to get started now. And I have different levels for people coming into my program. So if you just want monthly support, I've got that subscription. If you just want a 3-month program, I've got that subscription. If you just want 6 weeks and a food sensitivity test, I've got that too. It's a great jump start. And there's so many things that you can do. So don't think that there isn't a way for me to be able to help you. I even have an hour call. If you just want an hour call, that's normally $149. It's super easy to get that information so that you can get started hanging out with me on YouTube, hanging out with me on Instagram, asking questions, because I love to answer your questions. This is my passion. This is my pain to purpose for this process. I want to help other women get their health back, get healthy to lose the weight, to start aging beautifully and adventurously, because I wasn't beautiful before I lost all this weight. I was miserable in my body. I feel more beautiful now than I've ever felt my whole life. And so life can start at 60, and mine sure has. And so there's no shame or in any of that. We want to feel good in our body. Most of my clients come to me because they don't feel good in their body. They don't have the energy. They're worried about getting unhealthy. So many people get sick in their 60s. But you know what? We could flip that around. You can reverse all of that. All of these things are lifestyle processes and diseases that you have to control by what you eat, by the food you put in your body, what you put on your skin, the shampoo you use, your environment, watching your light environment at night, getting outside and earthing, getting sunlight in our eyes, getting sunlight on our skin. Don't you love my tan? We need to get sunlight. We need D3 is the natural birthright we're supposed to have. If it's low, you're not getting the right amount of food, you're not getting the right amount of sunlight, and your immune system's going to be tanked. So these are all things that we want to do. We want to be overall have better quality food. And in the beginning, it might be easier to use the food bridges so that we can transition from processed food over to a low carb diet and lifestyle and not make it so painful. I don't think it was painful, but I did utilize that while I was managing my insulin resistance. A part of the problem that we have to do is we got to burn the fat that's stored all over our body. Your liver is fatty. We need to burn that. We need to reverse insulin resistance, become insulin sensitive. We need to get leptin sensitive. We need our hormones to function, and we need our gut and digestion to function. And then, we've been eating vegetable seed oils how long? Decades. Your body is made of it. Well, your body can't burn that and get energy, says Dr. Kate Shanahan in her new book, Dark Calories. It's a very fascinating thing. And so part of that 3 years that I was stalled, I may have needed to get rid of those seed oils out of my body. It takes a couple of years to do that. And so we cannot get the energy we need when our body is made of seed oils. So we are naturally designed to eat saturated fat. So it's not saturated fat that causes heart disease. It's the sugar, inflammation, and oxidation. And you can get that from cardiologists who are practicing low carb diets and to reverse obesity with their patients and are out there leading this health revolution that we're on to get out of the sick care system, take care of yourself at home for health freedom. This is your self-care. This is a health adventure experience that I put on for my clients, that I come up and I show, because I'm going to give you the inspiration you need to be empowered. I'm going to educate you and give you the information you need to be strong and to be able to understand what's going on in your body and what you need to do to make it the best that you can make it. Because this is a lifestyle change to bring in a holistic low carb method to age beautifully and adventurously, because you want longevity. Do you want longevity? Do you want to turn off the pain of inflammation? Do you want to have the best body you can have so it can work for you without pain? Pain is your body talking to you that you've got inflammation turned on. Again, if you've been in a car accident and something happened, I can't change that per se, but we could get your body working to reduce the inflammation as best you can and get it functioning the way it needs to function. So use the food bridges if we need to. And we just, we need to figure out what hormone balance is happening. And we need to look underneath the hood to figure out everything that needs to go down to correct it. So like I was saying, it took me 8 years, but how much quicker it could have been if I knew all of this information while I was doing it, and it wouldn't have taken me so long. And so when I run 5 to 6 diagnostic labs with my 6-month signature program, we're going to collapse the time it takes to find your hidden healing opportunities and your weight loss blocks and put you back to beautiful quickly. Drop that 20 to 25 pounds. That's your metabolic reset right there. And work on everything that we discover and correct it with lifestyle and targeted supplementation and diet, because it has to be low carb for this to happen. You can't do it with a low calorie approach because that's a starvation process, and you're going to continue to just starve your body of the nutrients that it needs to work. Your hair, your skin, your hormones, your brain, everything needs fat and protein for it to function. If you're not getting fat and protein, you're going to have higher triglycerides, and you're going to have mismanaged cholesterol. It's not going to work for you. Your HDL cholesterol, which is your good cholesterol, is going to be low. We want that one to go up, and we want triglycerides to come down. When that happens, then everything's good. That's the health that we're supposed to have for our body. So we want to correct the underlying condition in our body. And it's okay if we're going to rely on the food bridges temporarily, but you don't have to do that forever. And it may be special occasions that you want to do that. And then other times you're going to be to a point where you're like me, 8 years later into this process, I'm wearing a dress that is super loose on me that used to fit more 2 years ago. So I know I'm still losing weight. I'm still remodeling my body. I'm still tightening up my skin. At 61, I've got a lot of loose skin. So I'd like to see where I can go with that. And that's my goal, to be strong and fit in my 60s, fit fabulous, and to be active, to get out and go on half marathons, and to get out there and do the hiking that I like to do to keep my body fit and strong. So that's my goal for my body right now. And if I could lose 5 pounds and tighten things up, then I'm going to see what my body is going to do. But I used to weigh 225 pounds. So I have no clue what I'm able to do, but I'm not going to stop trying. And if there's a holiday, I don't just fall off of this process. This is my lifestyle. So you guys want to look at this too. When the holidays are coming up, I'm getting ready to put a Food Bridges cookbook together with some of my favorite recipes that you guys can download. And it's only going to be like maybe $4.99, maybe $7.99. I don't know. It's going to be really inexpensive. It could just be a lead magnet. We'll see what happens. But I want to be able to put that together and offer it to you, because I want you guys to understand that it's okay to have food bridges, Some people are going to be more strict. Maybe they could be more strict. And so they didn't ever have to worry about the food they were eating, and they can do. Maybe they needed to do more carnivore, and that works for them, especially if you have plants that are attacking your gut and you can't tolerate them. Then it's going to be, and if you got a lot of autoimmune problems, you might need to be stricter. But if you don't have the autoimmune problems and you're just reversing obesity and diabetes or prediabetes, use the food bridges and enjoy those things. And remember, if you're going to go on a vacation and you've started a low carb lifestyle, you don't just stop. Please don't just stop when you go on a vacation. You could ask a cruise for whatever you want to eat and tell them to prepare it however you want to eat it. You just skip the dessert and maybe have some fruit. You don't have to eat the crap because it's your body. What you put in your body is either medicine or it's poison. And so you get to choose what you want to do. And so if you want to set back your health for something like that, and then you can't get back on track, or you gain 10 pounds because you did that, how does that make your body feel? Is that the goal that you have? Is that the vision you have for your body? So I won't do it at all because I have food addictions. And I was overweight up to my 53. From my whole life, I was overweight. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to have depression. So there was no amount of sugar or wheat that I was going to eat that was going to make me feel good in my body. And I didn't want that poison in my body. So if I went on a vacation, I didn't eat it. If I come up to a holiday, I don't eat it. I bring my own food. I bring my own carrot cake. I bring my own pumpkin pie. I bring my own cookies. I bring my own crackers. I bring a cheese plate. I will bring what I want to eat. And that's the goal. That is how you use food to bridge this gap of going out and parties as well. You want to be able to be satiated, feel good that you're participating in parties, that you're bringing food that you want to eat so you feel good in your body, and that you're eating not poison, but stuff that you feel is good for yourself, because you want to continue to lose the weight. You want to continue to do this as a lifestyle. The people around you may not understand it, but you can still do it. And you might just be the one that's going to get the success, and they're going to look at you with envy and hope that they lose the weight too, and wonder why they're not as strong to do what you're doing because you're being a badass and you're getting it done. People are going to envy you. They're going to notice it, but they might not. People accidentally or on purpose, they're going to try to sabotage you and offer you food because they don't understand where you are. They don't understand that you don't want to have the food cravings. They don't understand that you want to be healthy, so you're not going to eat this crap. And so you have to get strong and be empowered and just take food wherever you go. But if you go on a vacation, I mean, one of my clients is going back east and then in a camper. Just eat. She's just going to eat the food that she's been eating. She's just going to prepare it low carb. She's just going to plan it so she has the food on track. I'm going to be going to Tennessee for 2 weeks and the 1st of September. I'm going to fast. I've already ordered some keto meals from keto sustained meals. I forgot the company's name, Formularies. But what I like about them is they are a complete meal, and it has the right amount of MCT oil. It has the right amount of sodium and potassium. And so they're like electrolytes with protein, and not too much protein, but it just energizes my body. I used that when I was walking across the Grand Canyon or down to the river and back, and I had amazing energy. Awesome. And so ever since then, I'm like, this is the perfect meal break for energizing the body and staying in ketosis so that you can be active. And so I'm going to use it also at the half marathon and when I'm out hiking. And that's something I can use as food on the go, because, just packing beef sticks doesn't really do it for me when I can just have a protein meal. I don't do a lot of snacking because I'm not there anymore. I don't need to do the snacking. When you're first starting out, you might need to do the snacking. That's where the food bridges can come in, but you don't need to do that all the time. You'll get to the point where you can fast longer. You're not as hungry. You know what to eat. And a lot of the times I will tell my clients, just put their fruit, their nuts. If you're going to have a little bit of that, eat it at the end of your meal. Get your protein, get your vegetables, get your fat. That fruit and nuts, they're going to be your dessert. If you're going to have a little bit of yogurt, make sure it's sugar-free. Have it at the end of your meal. Or if you're going to have it as a meal and you're going to have a bigger meal earlier and you're going to have the fruit, the nuts, and the yogurt together, make sure it's all sugar-free, full-fat yogurt. And if it's not enough protein, we need to stack the protein. You want 30 grams of protein for muscle synthesis. I like to add perfect aminos to things. So if you add that to your meals and so you can get the right amount of protein, you could build muscle. We can build muscle. I still have to tighten up my skin, but my shoulders are showing muscles, and so I'm really excited about that. And so I know that there's a lot of hacks that we can do. There's no right or wrong to getting weight loss and maintaining your sanity and feeling better in your body. So just keep at it. Don't ever stop. Don't let anybody sabotage you. Don't eat the crap when you're out on vacation. You do not have to, because it's in front of you. Just because you'll have to plan a little bit more, plan a little bit more. But when I'm going to be on this trip, it's going to be all that I want to eat, and I won't eat the other stuff. And someone just invited me up to the Cook Island, and she's asking me what I'm going to eat. And I said, I'm just going to eat meat and vegetables. That's good. I'm good. Don't need anything else. That's what I eat. And she says, well, it's hard to get meat in the Cook Islands. I'm like, I'll eat fish and I can eat chicken. So that's all good. As long as that's available, my body will thrive. And so for me, it's part of my goal is to thrive and to live my life as an adventure, aging beautifully and being comfortable in my body. And that means controlling the food that I put in my body. And if I want to use food bridges and have ice cream once in a while and make myself a keto cake or have some keto cookies, it's not wrong. A lot of the times people are going to say just eat the meat. And if that's what you want to do, just do that. If that'll keep you from having any cravings, because the more meat you eat, you'll turn off all your cravings. The more of these other food bridges, foods that you eat that are using the keto sweeteners, using the almond flour, try to keep the starches away, use more coconut flour and almond flour rather than cassava or the starchy like tapioca starch. You don't want recipes with tapioca starch and cassava so much as you want the almond flour and the coconut flour. Use those. I mean, you can make some quick breads with just a jar of almond butter and some 4 eggs. You can make that, or you could do tahini bread. Those are super easy, low carb, and you could even do it with egg whites. My problem is when I make those things, I just eat the whole thing. So it's like counterproductive. I'm like, okay, well, I want one slice, but then I want more and I want it every day. So it's kind of like a food addiction. So I limit it because I don't want that in my diet right now, because I am doing more meat and vegetables, more meat these days, more ketovore, because that's where I am in my body with my health. And so wherever you are, you want to just get started. You want to look at eating low carb food the best you can. The rule is no wheat, no sugar, no grains, no wheat gluten. That will keep your appetite turned on and the gremlins will start growling in your stomach, because it's all hormonal. You have to keep the gremlins under control, and you have to take the wheat out to keep the gremlins under control. And we need to have leptin sensitivity to stop the hunger. You cannot have a leptin sensitivity if you have insulin always turned on in your blood. So there you go. You got to flip that sugar switch off. And the magic there is we get to flip the disease-causing gene off at the same time and practice epigenetics, which is expressing your good DNA so that you could be strong and healthy and live longer and not be in any pain. That's what we want to do. And so there's no reason to go on vacation and eat the crap that's going to make you sick, because you're going to be sick when you're on vacation. Don't you want to feel amazing? And so those are some things to think about. I hope this was helpful for you. This is how you manage your hunger and your cravings. If you've been obese, if you've had metabolic dysfunction, if you've tried to diet and you can't get that success, what you want to do is just use those food bridges, turn off the hunger and the cravings so you can have amazing energy, start thriving in your body. This is not about surviving. You want to survive till you're 50 or 60 and then be put? That's a choice too. But you can have the choice for health. Health is our wealth. Get into a health adventure lifestyle like I am, to age beautifully and adventurously. And again, if you want to implement my holistic low carb method, get on a strategy call. I have times available this week. Get on my schedule. I actually have time tomorrow. If you get into my calendar and it doesn't let you book anything, just email me at Lori Ballew, that's LORIBALU @gmail.com, and I will put you into my schedule directly and we will have a call. And get to know me, ask you questions, what's going on. Let's see if one of my programs is going to be a fit for you. Because if you're in action and you're ready to do this, I only have space for about 3 more women to onboard for August. It's a lot of time and takes up a lot of my time and calendar space to actually implement a full 6-month program for my clients. There's a lot of labs to run, a lot of work to get started. And so 3 is all I am going to take for August. And then I will be on vacation for 2 weeks of September. And so if you want to get into my calendar, just let me know. I've got that going, and get started. Whether you do it with me or somebody else, just get started, because I don't want anybody to have to suffer. I lost my sister, my eldest sister, to obesity. She died of diabetes and obesity at well over 400 pounds. But there's other people who've taken that 400 pounds and reversed it. to get their life back. And I know somebody else who was over 300, my client Mark, over 350 pounds, ready for insulin. He told his doctor, I'm going to try diet. And he did it. He used the food bridges. He followed his food sensitivities. He completely went low carb and never strayed. And if you don't stray, you get the results. You get all the results. And you get to put your body back together again like Humpty Dumpty and patch all those cracks. And then you feel beautiful and confident in your body again. The way we were designed to feel good. We can feel good again. So use the food bridges, turn off those cravings, make your bread, bake things at home. I went out and got cookbooks. I started with paleo cookbooks. I've since given them all away. I have keto cookbooks. I don't even open up any of them anymore. You can sign up with Be Happy Kitchen, and she's got great no sugar, no grain recipes that are amazing with Anna Vocino. There's so many things that we can do. We just make it a lifestyle. This is a health adventure lifestyle that you get to create for longevity. You can't have longevity from a pill. You have to use food. Food is a message, and food is information to your body. And it's either going to kill you or it's going to save you. And so you have to decide how you want to change or not change to have the best health that you can have. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was 225 pounds and I was miserable. I had depression, anxiety, PCOS in my mid-30s, asthma, allergies, bronchitis, sinusitis, couldn't breathe when I would lay down. My doctor said I'd always be on an inhaler. Well, he was wrong, because that's just inflammation. And when you take the sugar out and the wheat out and eventually minimize your dairy, you're going to have health. You're going to stop the degradation of your cartilage throughout your body, so you don't have to have arthritis. You can thrive, but you have to choose health as your wealth, and that's a choice. And so join me on this health revolution, and recreate the second half of your life to be beautiful and feel amazing in your body. And you can. And so willpower is not going to work by itself. Hunger will always win out. So you'll have to eat the protein and the fat to turn off the appetite. As long as you keep sugar in your blood from all those carbohydrates, you will keep that hunger turned on and you will lose. So this is how you win. You use the food bridges. I'm here to help you. Get your free food sensitivity test with one of my paid programs, and we will get you losing weight this year and get you feeling beautiful in your body again. So visualize that beautiful dress you want to wear for the holidays. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Keep moving going.